Good evening and thank you for joining. It's your 45 minutes security news, public intel coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. And a very happy independence to you. I am Dakore Ekendo with the latest headlines of the week. Troops kill bandits, arrested 8 marauders and 10 collaborators. 10 Nigerian soldiers killed in fresh ambush. We are back to the days of Ateke Amechi decries insecurity in rivers. Again, Boko Haram attacks Borno governor's convoy during the week. 2.67 billion school feeding funds found in private accounts. This is coming from ICPC. The Nigerian Air Force names buildings after Arotile alongside 8 others. Senator Uregu joins me in the studio for now for more updates on the headlines. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
And a very happy independence to you.
Yeah, I can see that in the color.
Yes, we have to be in the series.
I'm representing the culture.
That's awesome. Now, the continuous arrest of collaborators seems to be progress, according to some pundits, in tackling the root causes of insecurity. What is your take on that?
Arresting the collaborators is a huge step. It's part of it, but it's not all of it. Collaborators mean that they're just part of the problem, but it means that they are also the other actors, and but it's a huge step, because for a while now we've been asking, okay, you've been killing food soldiers, what of the sponsors of all these? Because they are funders, where they should make effort in stopping the funding and sponsors of some of these criminal activities or terrorism, because to prosecute either banditry or whatever you call the name, it takes money. In fact, any war, whether from state or non-state actors, it takes a lot of finances. So one of the ways of tackling it is trying to cut off the roots, either the source of finance or the sponsors or the suppliers. Though in Nigeria we know that the already-made the ground is fertile, because there are a whole lot of unemployed youth who can easily be deceived or enticed to join into criminal gangs.
Yeah, talking about, you made mention of sponsors. Talking about sponsors, do you think we've gotten to the level of tracing the sponsors of most of these atrocities in our land?
We have not gotten, from my perspective, I think we have not even made effort to even trace the sponsors of, maybe it's too, or they are known, but because of one or two implications is being kept silent. It's not, we have very brilliant intelligence agencies. In fact, if some of the findings they get is made public, you'll be surprised. But it takes just beyond the intelligence agencies. There are those who act at the strategic level, those who take the decision. So when they get the information, the intelligent people, their job is done is to analyze, present, but they are decision makers at the strategic level. They will also weigh the options, the social, economic or social political implication of what action to take. So maybe it's at this level where the challenge is. Just like you see the fight against corruption, you find it's like a web. Those who are trying people are friends to those where they are trying. So sometimes some things happen behind the scene. We find out that the whole thing will keep on going in circle. And the political will is not there. So it requires strong political will to get to this level. But as it is now, I don't think we do have that.
Okay, all right. Many feared that the political tension in Rivers State is far from, with so much comment on either on both on social media and otherwise. What should our politicians do for the good of the people amidst various challenges? Because it seems Port Harcourt, or River State rather, is getting to the place where they need to cry out for help, just like Amechi decries.
Amechi decrying has been part of the problem. So him decrying is not new, and is becoming a crying shame, especially when it comes to River State, making what will I say, weaponizing politics in River State. It has been a recurring occurrence. You check every governorship election, even presidential election, you saw less with violence. And you know how the whole illegal arms got into, like, the militancy there, and how they were converted to political talks, and everything is being channeled into force of arms. I think a day election should be kind of though if we don't learn in 2015, because I believe there was erosion of the political dividend that Jonathan left after 2015, and it was as if no lesson were learned. At least we have started getting it right from this past Edo election, whereby it's not by force of arms. If the leaders can allow the will of the people to have a say, so it's a high time we stop using thuggery or violence. You know, so the issue of insecurity is something that should be looked into, and thank God that the U.S. has issued it. To me, is a welcome development. What U.S. and now UK. I even wish if EU and Canada should join. I know a lot of people have cried about that it's an infringement in our sovereign right. No, they're not interfering. They're trying to strengthen it. And you know, most of these are leaders. They can't call it bluff because they leave us here. They have most of their investment there. They go vacation there. They go on medical trip there. So it will hit them hard if they are banned. That will be another COVID-19 that will force them to stay here. They will have a rethink. If you mess up this country, you are going to stay with us and face the consequences of it.
Okay, all right. What at this point, finding some billions, you know, according to ICPC. Now, our anti-graft agencies not doing enough, or how would you rather react to such a finding, or rather the comment by ICPC?
Yes, you know, there was a controversy that trailed the comment. First, they attributed it to Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and the minister was livid and denied that it's not domiciled in the ministry, that is about school feeding for unity schools or so. But what that tells you is that whether it's in Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs or not, it's still within this government, and there was a revelation. Just like I was telling you, it's not as if these agencies are not doing their work. It's the political will. What happens now? What happens after yes, this finding? What happens? You remember the mic incidents on national. Up to today, that man that fainted, he has gone scot-free. He's still on his duty. The minister. Do you think
our anti-graft agencies are not doing enough?
It's not like that. That's what I'm telling you. The political will. See, they cannot do beyond, and the way they structured, because most of our anti-graft agencies are tied to that pawn of the presidency, and it's not supposed to be so. Look at in Israel, a sitting prime minister is being tried, and he's crying like a puppy, because that's how the institutions are. There was a time their president, Wiseman, was indicted and jailed. So that's how it should be. Even in America, Trump is still whining and crying, and investigation is still going on. When he wanted to ban TikTok, he has not been able to implement it because some courts are stopping him from doing so. This is where you have strong institutions. You know, no matter how you throw up somebody like Trump, the institution will still help to curtail it. Then here, you have institutions that are tied to the apron of the executive interference and influence. So whatever they do is subject to the body language of the executive. They look at what is the president saying. So they check who is the enemy of the president, who can they arrest or prosecute. The president will look the other way. That's where they go. If they feel that someone is close to the president, no matter how, even if the corruption is stinking to high heavens, they will not. There are many people who are in this government that their corruption cases are well known. There's even the issue of the billion van whatever, and yet they are not even attended to. They are not even trying to investigate it. So yeah, it's not as if they are not seeing it. It's not as if they don't have the capacity to investigate it. But the political will to enforce, to see it through, is not there. Okay, look at the issue of the Dasuki case. The principal is out. He's not being tried because, as he said, he will expose a lot of people. Because that could not be done, the case is resting. It's in situ, and somebody has been jailed. A small fry like Metu has been jailed. Why? The person he said I gave him the money is free. I don't know whether he can add that to know where we, until they make EFCC, ICPC independent.
But then the independent
make their funding maybe have a consolidated for independent funding, or I mean,
okay, are you directing this to the funding aspect? Because already independent contractors are already independent. That's why they're taking
but who nominates the appointment?
So that's where the problem lies.
And see, our presidency, the power that is accrued to Nigerian president in a democracy, constitutionally, and other extra powers, is the most powerful in the world. Even the U.S. president, yes, they are powerful as the U.S., the influence of the U.S., but the president himself in U.S. is not as powerful with the power of Nigerian president. There are so many loopholes our president can use to get whoever. When, remember the case, we can say that President Jonathan is one of the calmest. He didn't utilize, people even blame him for not utilizing. At a point, he said that he had checked the power that is accrued to Nigerian president. If you use more than 5% of it, that is insanity. And when time came, even before then, I thought that, I believe that the CBN, what is it called? Is it CBN chairman or whatever? Is governor is tenured. But still, there was a loophole when Jonathan and Sanusi came head to head. For one agency that was even forgotten, from there they indicted him, and from there he was removed. That was few time Jonathan flexed his muscle to tell you how powerful they are. So until we try and find a way we can cut off all those loopholes that the president can wield and influencing all these agencies, they are not independent.
Okay, all right. Late Arotile was honored on good steps by the Nigerian Air Force, but then what else can be done aside honoring her with her name attached to a building in a NAF base? What else can be done?
What else can be done is what they've already started doing, of which Arotile was part of. You know, all thanks to President Jonathan, who came and during his time, he mandated the armed forces to start having female combatants, you know, as is done in Israel. And also, even though there was efforts later on to try to reverse that policy, but the current chief of air staff has, you know, credit to him, he has grown and trained a lot of which Arotile was the pioneer set that started that. So apart from honoring him, is to continue in that drive of empowering, you know, military female officers, you know, not just in other cadre, but in combat force. So that name, we can honor him when we see more of Arotiles coming into force, doing great things.